Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ride 2 here on this channel. I'm KPG-GOONER here, and in today's video guys we're going to be testing out another bike from the exotic bike pack, not erotic bike pack like I said yesterday. Now I realised I made that mistake but I didn't edit it out and I hoped people wouldn't notice, but of course you noticed. But there you go, I'm only human. Right guys, first up we're going to do the weekly challenge on the SB8K motor, and then we're going to take on a race and maybe another event on a bike from that new bike pack, and just test it out and probably do an overall summary on it. But let me know in the comments below guys if there's any of those bikes you really want to see in the next episode, and thank you for all the support. So don't forget to give this a thumbs up. Right, let's get straight into it. Right guys, so here we go with this weekly challenge on the motor, and I do like this bike. I've done a couple of races on this bike before, and we've got to get 158.5 around Imola. Now I do like these challenges, and the fact you can't adjust anything on the bike makes it even harder. But let's get into it and see if we can do it first time. Right, so let's see if we can get a good start. Now, this is a perfect circuit for a bike like this. This bike is pretty good handling. I think the last time I raced it, I did have it fully maxed out, but I was quite impressed with this motor, so I'm hoping that it's going to be good enough to achieve that time. But I did look at the leaderboards, and some people have put some really cracking times in this bike, so hopefully I can get the gold first time, but we will find out. Right, let's slow it down into this turn. But let me know guys about which bikes you want to see out of that new bikes pack, the exotic bike pack. I mean, we did one in yesterday's episode. Let me know what other ones you want to see after you see which one we do in this episode, because I might not do a video on every single bike. Sometimes there's always one or two on the pack that people are not really interested in, but just let me know in the comments below which ones you really want to see. It helps me to set up the video, and maybe in the next video I'll do a race or a time trial or something on two of the bikes, and we'll clear two of the bikes out the pack in one episode. And thank you for everyone that keeps on requesting different matchups in the comments. That's really helping me to know what you want to see, so I will carry on doing those videos as you seem to like them. Right, we're running pretty well at the moment. I do like this circuit, so hopefully I should be able to do it, and we're almost a second up on the time, which is absolutely brilliant. But this bike handles so well. I think this one was a DLC bike, I do believe, and I've just loved it ever since. I mean, I did race it online the other day because it just fitted nicely into the category that everyone was racing. I didn't win the race, but I was probably the most consistent in the race. I think everyone crashed out, including me. But I felt like if I, obviously I went into the race without a setup. If I'd had the perfect setup, I probably would have won the race. So it's definitely a very good bike. Right, let's get a nice turn in here. That's nicely done, and I'm thinking if I can just nail that chicane, we might be able to get the gold first time. This is the part where I always struggle on. This can be challenging. Slow it down. Oh, that was good. That was awesome. That's how you want to do it. And accelerate to the line. Are we going to do it? And yes, we do. I think we did it by half a second. Now, I don't think I absolutely pushed that bike to the max. I kept it steady, and we managed to do it first time. And also guys, don't forget to let me know what times you've achieved on this weekly challenge. It's good to know what sort of times everyone else is achieving. And I looked at the top 10 on the leaderboard, and I think someone got under 153. I mean, that's an amazing time. I would have to drop almost 5 seconds. I mean, if I went at this and probably practiced a little bit more, maybe I'd bring it down a couple of seconds. But 5 seconds, that seems pretty difficult. But people do achieve it. Right, let's get into looking at the next bike. And the bike that we're trialling in today's video from the exotic bike pack is the Honda NR750 from '92, and I love the styling of the exhaust underneath the body kit. I think that looks absolutely brilliant. Hopefully it handles really well, but we will do an overall summary on this bike. We'll probably do a race and one other event, so we're going to get straight into that now guys, so here we go. Right, first up guys, we fully maxed it out. Now the acceleration only went up to 6.9, braking power 8.1, top speed 7.4 and handling 7.3, so that all the stats are pretty low, and that acceleration 6.9, that is probably one of the lowest of this bike of that power, but we will find out if it's any good. So let's get straight into a race. Guys, we're going to take on Sugo in the wet. This should be interesting. Hopefully this will be a good trial on this bike, but I thought I'd put it on a circuit that will really test it out, and in the wet will really give it a challenge, so here we go. But looking at the stats of this bike, 6.9 acceleration, that's not very quick for a bike of this power, but we will see if it affects me in the race. So off we go. and open that throttle, and oh god, it doesn't accelerate very quick, but hopefully it will be good into the turns and will be pretty solid. Let's try and turn it. Let's go a little bit wide to avoid any contact. And oh, it drops into the corners okay, so the suspension's feeling pretty damn decent. Now the braking power was its best stat, 8.1, so I'm expecting the brakes to be pretty decent. Let's try and slow it down. Oh god, minimal contact back there, but managed just to hold it. Got to be careful on the brakes as well in the wet. Let's go straight onto the curb there and drive it. So it's not over the top acceleration, so it's not wheeling up, I've noticed, but it feels good. The handling feels pretty good. I think the handling was only 7.3, which is quite surprising because it feels pretty steady at the moment. And we don't make any adjustments in these videos that we do on first experience, so it feels pretty damn decent. Right, let's see if we can get past this bike in this corner. Let's get a bit of slipstream. Let's try and go up the inside. Oh no, let's slow it down, slow it down. We weren't going to be able to get in there before him. But the brakes feel pretty responsive. So far the 8.1 rated brakes are really good on this bike. It feels pretty solid, slowing it down really easily, and it's turning in pretty good as well. Let's just try and be careful on the throttle that we don't overdo it. Now this chicane coming up, it can be very, very difficult, this turn coming up. So let's try and take it nice and slow that we don't crash into this bike through here. Now flip it over, feels pretty steady, and accelerates. And I'm telling you guys, the fact the acceleration is very, very low, you won't need to use anti-wheelie at all on this bike, and it doesn't wheelie up a lot out the turns, but it does seem to have a decent power, because I think it's got nearly 150 brake horsepower, so it's got the power to go up the hill faster than some of the other 750s in this race. So slow it down, and the brakes, oh my god, the brakes are awesome, guys. It really stopped it pretty quickly, and I thought, why not do a race in the wet, because it just adds to the challenge. And I do like really trying to push these bikes in these videos. Now let me know, like I said, start the video, which ones you want to see next in the next video, and what comparison bikes videos that you want to see. I think someone left a message in the last video, they wanted to see a couple of the Ducatis go against each other, and I think someone messaged me to do a BMW against Repsol Fireblade. So I've got them written down, so I'm not going to say which order I'm going to do them in, but I will try and do every single request that I get asked, because I absolutely love playing this game, so I do not mind. But we have got some other games coming up very soon, so I will try and mix it up on what videos are uploaded each day, so that you got something different, but most of it will be racing. I have got some other content that's coming very soon on the channel, which is not racing, but hopefully you will like it as well. But I'll tell you about that in an update video very soon. And we are absolutely flying on this second lap. So this has been a brilliant second lap. It just feels very, very good into the turn. So my overall impression of this bike so far is very, very good. Yes, it lacks that little bit of acceleration out of the corners, but the fact that it doesn't bob around, it feels pretty steady. It does give me that opportunity to get away when they're all struggling. They're trying to keep the front wheel down. So we've managed to get away, and we're starting to pull away slightly going into this last lap, sorry. Hopefully we can just be nice and steady now, and hopefully bring this home and get a victory. But we'll try another event in this World Tour. I think we're going to try one of those overtake trials, where you've got to try and overtake as many vehicles in the required time, and we will see if we can achieve that on this bike. But I think it'll be pretty good on this bike, because even in the wet the handling feels brilliant, but the brakes are definitely its most impressive stat and thing that I've noticed so far in this race. Let's try and be nice and steady. Oh god, that wasn't as smooth through there, but I always seem to make mistakes in the last lap because I just get a little bit carried away. Right, let's slow it down into there. Be careful, don't over brake, don't press that back brake too much in the wet, so I don't want to slide out. And keep it nice and tight. They've slightly caught me up, and they're probably going to get in my slipstream down this straight. Let's see if we can just try and be a little bit quicker into this next corner. Just be aware that they may come up the inside if I slow down too early. Right, let's slow it down, slow it down. Yes, the brakes are so good on this bike, and that's brilliant. We managed to stop it pretty quick, but we are running a lot slower on this lap. But as long as we are steady. Oh god, that was my own fault. Just clipped the curb there. That was my own fault. I just pressed that back brake a little. Oh god, almost got sideswiped there as well by the bike behind me. So let's just try and be nice and careful. We dropped over a second, so this has been an awful last lap, but it's down to my riding, not the bike. The bike is absolutely fine. Right, let's try and be nice and steady through here and accelerate up the hill, and we should be okay. We're definitely going to be quicker through those sort of turns on this bike, and we're going to come out on top on this 750. So there you go. A race completed on this NR750, and I'm telling you guys, this bike is quite impressive. I mean, I always look at the stats and think, oh, they're pretty low, it's not going to be very good. But then you take it in a race, and they're so much better than what the stats suggest. So far, I'm quite impressed. But we're going to test it in another event, and then we will do an overall summary of the bike, and I will give it a rating. So we'll get straight into that now, guys. So here we go. Right guys, now we're going to do this overtaking trial, and we've got to overtake 18 bikes within a required time. Again, we're not adjusting anything on the bike, but we're in the dry now, so we're going to see what this is like into the turns in the dry. But I was very, very impressed by the brakes on this bike, and again, it stops nicely into those corners. Can it be nice and tidy through there? Not too bad. Accelerates. And it does lack a little bit of a punch with the acceleration, but once it gets going, it feels pretty damn decent. It does start gaining speed pretty quick once you get up to third or fourth gear. Right, turn it over again. It feels pretty good into the turn without any adjustments, and we've managed to slip nicely past that bike. And yeah, it's understeering just a tad. Maybe a little bit of a tweak here and there, but apart from that, it's not that bad. So it should be really good into this this corner here, slowing down, because the brakes on this bike are very, very good and very impressive. See what I mean? It stops so quickly, and oh god, that turned into it quite nicely. So that worked out really well. And the front, like I said, the front wheel doesn't go up a lot either on this bike, which is really, really handy when you're changing direction. Right, let's try and be nice and smooth through here. Keep it nice and tight, turn it. Yeah, see, it's not reacting like some other bikes. Some bikes, once you go from one turn to the other, the wheel goes up, and they're so difficult to correct and try and keep that front wheel down. But this one is, oh god, I say that, and it got a little bit of a wheel up there. That was a little bit of a risk there, but managed to get away with it. So it does go, the wheel can go up, but it doesn't go up as much. I mean, some that even when you've got anti-wheelie on low, the wheel goes up really, really easy, but this one hasn't got anti-wheelie on at all. And let's just be careful through there. And really had to gas it there. Really, I think you can really push this bike. I feel like you can really chuck it into the corners and rely on those brakes. So let's just chuck it into this corner, slow it down. See, you can get it stopped. Oh god, onto the curb. Went in there maybe a little bit too quick, but we've managed to get past. And again, just controlling that through there. And we've only got a few more bikes to get past, which we should easily do with the time remaining. And we should be able to achieve this this overtake trial. And one more, flip it over, still got over 20 seconds, so we should be able to achieve this nice and easy and take the gold. And then we will get into an overall summary of this bike, guys. So there we go, we take the gold. And are we going to get, oh, I thought we were going to go again. A shame it doesn't let you keep on going just to see how many you can get. I think that's what it used to do on Ride, the first version. But this one, as soon as you get the gold, it cuts out. It should let you go and see how many you can achieve. That would be really interesting, just to see who gets the most. I bet some people would get into the 30s on a trial like that, I would have thought. Right, let's get into an overall summary of this awesome Honda bike. So here we go. Right guys, I'm just going to give it an overall summary. Now this bike has many features which I did like. The brakes were awesome, it handled really well. Now the only thing I would say, it doesn't accelerate out the turns very quick because of its lack of acceleration, but I didn't think it mattered too much in that performance points range. So it's still a very, very good bike to have. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, and I'm sure you will like it. Bye bye guys.